All right, we're live. All right, welcome back. It's your boy, Gray Switch, back at it again with another video. Welcome to the Ether. If you are new here, stick around because we're gonna be breaking down a new video. I was doing work today, and the topic of the lawsuit between Pocket Pair and Nintendo has been on my mind. Last was most recent video I've done in a while. I've been MIA, so some people are wondering, hey, what's he doing? I'm back at it. So if you've never seen me before, trying to get things rolling around here, right? Trying to put out a video every single week, but we're gonna be reacting to this situation a little bit more in depth. I found a video that is, I haven't watched it actually, not pre-watched or anything like that. I saw it catch my eye because it's a lawyer and he's discussing this issue. I'm not a lawyer. I don't understand these issues at all. I'm a fan of Pokemon, fan of Nintendo, and I'm a fan of Pocket Pair and Palworld. So I love both IPs. Very creative. I'm not an idiot. You know, I'm not putting my head in the sand like a dodo bird or whatever, ostrich. Yeah, Pocket Pair has a lot of similarities for sure, and I'm sure there's a mountain of things that they could be sued for. But in the last video, I was a little bit more, I would say a little bit more biased just because of the overall trend I've been seeing on X and Twitter. It's mainly the place I scroll often. I scroll on Instagram here and there just because of job requirements for marketing and stuff like that. That's a whole separate issue. This is not tied into what we're doing right now, but just copyright in general has been, I just see crazy stuff here and there, and it just irks me. So I don't really know much about the topic. I know or the logistics of the legal system, especially when it comes to Japan. That's a whole nother factor you have to factor in. Not a lawyer at all, so I'm trying to get educated, but interesting to pierce the veil, go through this barrier and look through it. Hopefully this lawyer guy does a good job. So I'm going to go to my watch later and we're gonna get into this video real quick. So the title of this video is Stolen Balls ? Nintendo versus Palworld patent lawsuit explained, and I'm very excited to hear it. It has 47k views at this point. It is provided to us by Legal Mindset. So we're gonna get into the video right now.
Interesting take. So obviously, let's get
to the very beginning.
So
let me put on my headphones. Sorry, I got a couple staples in my head right now, so putting these on kind of hurts, but I'll bear through.
There have been some interesting takes. So obviously, let's get over to Pokemon versus Palworld.
Okay.
So
here we go.
We have a lawsuit. Pokemon versus Palworld. I covered the basics. This the original statement from Pokemon, which was we are suing to protect our patents. It's a patent infringement lawsuit.
That's important.
The one thing I want to start out with,
it's not copyright. We went over that in the last video. It's not copyright. It's patents, and I know patents vaguely are mainly mechanical things. Like, so if you are an inventor, you patent things, and like if you're a writer, you create stories or characters or something like that, then that's like copyright. For instance, I saw Stellar Blade is being sued by some company in, what was it, California, Wyoming? It was some random state in the United States. Apparently they probably make swords or something. I didn't look into it that deep, but I just saw it on just scrolling through the timeline that some random company named Stellar Blade is gonna sue a game because they use the name Stellar Blade. Like, that's crazy, man. What are we doing here?
Real quick, clearly here, and this is something I'm going to repeat, this is patent law.
Okay.
Patent law is not copyright. Both copyright and patent
is good.
Are types of what we call intellectual property law.
Yes.
But they're different.
Yeah. Okay.
They're different. There is different as, for example, different crimes. So,
Yes.
for example,
Domestic, civil,
burglary
all that kind of
and
stuff.
murder are both crimes. They're both crimes that you fall into the parameter of criminal law.
Yep, and
So
they
you
can
say,
actually
oh yeah, criminal law.
connect sometimes. You know, they overlap. You know,
burglary, murder.
a lot of people in
right?
O-Block
But
know
they're
all
different.
about that
The
kind of
elements
stuff.
of those are different. What you
Yep,
need to satisfy or prove those in court is different. You
Yep.
can't come to a murder case with proof of a burglary and try to prove that the burglary happened. Same thing with patents and copyright. The elements are different. The requirements are different.
Okay.
I'm going to explain a couple of these things to you right now.
Okay.
One of the biggest differences between copyright, which generally is used to protect broader ideas,
so you can't even see
things
this guy
that
right now.
might pertain
Hold
to...
on. Let me pause the video. I completely forgot to change the camera angle. That is on me. Sorry about that, y'all. This guy is a very handsome gentleman. I know you want to see his face and not mine. I'm over here just chilling, just watching by myself. You can stop looking at my ugly mug. I know I'm like a 2 on a, you know, scale of 2 to 1. Let's go.
A story, for example, or a movie, or
2 being the worst,
work,
you know, of course.
or other forms of artistic expression, right?
Yeah.
Versus a patent, which is generally used for inventions and processes. So things involving hardware, software, things involving mechanical systems, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those sort of things that are on that side of the register.
Okay.
Now, beyond that, copyright exists whether or not you register it with the state. Whether or not you register your copyright, you still have a copyright the second you create something. So if someone goes out and tries to steal your book, and you wrote a book, and they steal it verbatim, they plagiarize the entire thing, and you never registered it, it doesn't matter. You can still go after that person, right? You have a copyright interest. You have a protection of what you have made because you made it.
Yeah.
And it's the second that you made it.
That makes sense.
Patents are not.
So, for instance, like my brain, the way my brain works, I'm thinking about Star Wars, right? I've always heard the I don't know what the true story is. I've just heard rumors and ramblings about George Lucas, like found some journal of this author. I think it was the guy that wrote Dune. I could be completely wrong. This is just something I've heard. But like George Lucas found this guy's journal of Dune, and maybe it wasn't George Lucas, maybe it was something else, but someone found like a journal or something and pretty much did their story before it came out, and they're pissed because they made the IP. I forgot who that was, because I know George Lucas was inspired by Dune in a way, and I think it's because Dune came out it came out before Star Wars quite a bit, the book did. I don't think that's correct. But for instance, like he's saying, yeah, that makes sense. Copyright, you create something, like I've written books and stories and characters and stuff like that, so I've already made them. I already have logs of everything made, you know, it's written down in ink. But then it's like, hey, I have this written down, but how are you going to date this, right? It's on a computer. I don't know. That gets a little weird, I think.
Patents need to be registered. There is a race to registration when it comes to patents. If somebody was to find out about an invention
that makes a lot of sense,
and then go race out and patent it, they can screw you.
That's fucked.
And that's why trade secrets are important. That's why protecting certain formula.
Yeah, so with my job, I've been to many factories, seeing a lot of innovation and stuff like that, and we had to sign NDAs occasionally. There's a lot of rooms that we're not allowed into. Sometimes we get special, you know, access to those rooms because we're obviously not manufacturers or anything like that. Still have to sign the NDAs. Normal practice, because people are trying to hide their trade secrets. This completely makes sense.
Or other things is important, because if somebody gets out ahead of you or steals your research,
is kind
some
of
sort of
BS.
Industrial, corporate sabotage or spying or espionage, that's a big problem.
Yeah,
that's a
this is complete BS, honestly, because someone could find out the secret, patent it. Like, you could be like, hey bro, tell your buddy, he don't know your buddy's a snake. You tell him like this great idea you have. You're like, bro, I want to make this thing like no one's, like, I've never seen this anywhere. You tell your buddy, he goes, tells a guy, maybe he has more money than you in his savings right now. He says, fuck it, I'm gonna take out a little bit of money, make a patent. I mean, what's that one dude? Terrence. He was on the Joe Rogan podcast. Famous actor, Terrence Howard. He has like a lot of patents, and a big topic on that podcast when he had the It was the second time he was on there when he was with the other science guy. I forgot his name. Gosh, my mind's slipping. But he was saying that the patents were great and everything. He was saying, you know, scientifically, the scientific community kind of has been the strength of patents have been taken away from scientists and stuff like that. And he was like, you know, your patents are cool and everything, but like I think you made those like yourselves, came up with ideas themselves. Like he insinuated this language that I didn't really understand at the time. It makes more sense now. Like I understood what he meant, but now that I know the stigma of copyright, there's not a race to it. It's like you own it once you create it, if you can prove it, I assume. And then with patents, it's first come first serve, I guess. That's crazy.
Real big problem.
Yeah, that would be an issue.
That's a hard stop. That can be a hard stop. If someone gets a patent on something, it can stop you from advancing down a line of technology. And there are people out there.
Sidebar: Terrence Howard had, or was it Terrence Howard? I think it's Terrence Howard. I could be mistaken, but he has a patent for AR, artificial reality, like for video games and stuff like that. And he's never used it. He said he just lets people, you know, do their thing. Never used it once. I'm like, that's so weird. Why would you have patents that you don't use? And this is the whole concept. Like, when we're having these talks about patents, in particular, in this case, when we're talking about this scenario with Pocket Pair and Nintendo, when you have these patents, and we're talking about mechanics being patent in video games, it's kind of, I just don't like the idea. And the reason I get the understanding, like you came up with the idea, you should be able to profit off the idea. That makes 100% sense to me. I understand that. If I came up with the light bulb, I would want a percentage of every light bulb because it would benefit me. But that wouldn't benefit everyone else, because then everyone's limited to making my light bulb or me letting them, you know, license out my patent to them. It just would, you know, bottleneck the advancement of the human race in general, right? It just does. And so that's what's happening now with video games, and I don't like that, because the more I'm learning about this topic, there's so many patents on video games that people can't implement into their game because of fear of, like, you know, a huge conglomerate company coming at them with lawyers and lawyers and lawyers, and they don't even need to win. Like, they could just keep on suing them, and they can't keep up with the bill.
They're called patent trolls, and whether companies and groups
I don't like that
actually try to block lines of research by going out there and paying and holding up the troll toll and making you pay to use that specific line of research or that specific line of innovation. It's a big thing. Also, we'll talk about this. Patents are relatively international. Now, at first, I did mention, and I always mention, hey, just let's be aware this is being filed in Tokyo, not in America, right? So a lot of people were applying like all of American law. Now, that said, there are some procedural differences in Japan. There are some differences with exactly how they register their
I have that same
local trademarks, patents, copyrights, etc. But generally, most of the world follows the PCT, which is the Patent Cooperation Treaty. In fact, you can see here the Patent Cooperation Treaty has 157 cooperating states. Pretty much the only place.
So I wonder how this is upheld, because honestly, and it sucks because this happened, you know, Pocket Pairs from Japan, Nintendo's from Japan. Nintendo's probably, if not the biggest company in Japan. I'm sure they're top dogs out there. There's probably some technology companies that are huge as well. But I wonder if it, like, what if this happened in the United States, right? What if we had our own, you know, US of A style Pokemon game? Nintendo's like, nah, bro, hold my sake. And they come out here with the lawyers and say, hey, bro, US government, I'm gonna need you to shut that game down. Yeah, that studio. See them in court. Like, it's not Nintendo doing that. It's our government being like, all right, we're gonna uphold the Japanese law. You know, go to court type shit. Like,
that are out of this.
I don't know. How does that work?
Pakistan, Afghanistan, Yemen, Somalia.
It's a lot.
You got Argentina, Uruguay, And that's about it. Even North Korea, guys, even fucking North Korea. Oh yeah, Burma's in there too.
It looks like the whole world except for, you got a little bit of South America, a little bit of Africa. I feel like that's the ocean right there. I could be wrong. That's not. I can't remember where this is. He might have pointed it out.
Even North Korea is down with the patent cooperation treaty.
They down with the biz.
Like, pretty nuts. Pretty nuts.
But how much are they upholding this shit? Because China rips off people all the time, and they probably, I don't know. This is interesting. It's so interesting the more I uncover this shit for my own knowledge. Because, like, in the last video I did, we talked about China getting sued by, I think it was a Japanese guy. Yeah, it was by Nintendo. Yeah, they had knockoffs of Pokemon, and they won $15 million from that lawsuit.
Yeah, so even China, yes, I know someone actually. You know what's funny? So
It's
people
wild.
are wondering about China. So China, the funny thing about
They're
China
notorious for ripping stuff off.
is that they actually moved to the top slot for patent registrations under the PCT. So China currently registers more patents than the United States. United
That makes
States
sense.
used to be number one.
Probably farming the
Also
shit out of
up
that.
there in the rankings is Japan, of course. Watashi wa, lots of patents, right? And then you've got South Korea. South Korea, they got kimchi and they got patents as well. So
Okay.
South Korea, Japan, US, China, all up there being Chad-like in their amount of patents.
Chad-like, yep.
And by the way,
Big old Chad.
if you think about most of the patents being filed in the United States, they're probably a lot of them are also filed. A significant number are probably filed by people of Asian descent in America. But that said,
hey, don't cancel this guy now. Don't cancel him before this video's over. Hey, I know some of y'all might be triggered by that. Don't cancel this guy yet. I just want to finish the video. Come on.
Yeah, there are things that are up on
Only
China.
a fifth of the way
And
there.
actually, I forgot to pull up this article. Let me pull it up real quick.
All right. Let's see it.
Pokemon just won a lawsuit in China. So for all of those
Look at that.
and this was
Look at
to
that.
me shocking.
Yeah,
right?
it was shocking to me too.
There was a copyright suit.
This isn't being
not
talked about
patent,
right now. Not
Not
much.
patent, copyright suit. Hold on, let me pull this up in.
It was
Let me
just
pull this
straight
up
up a
in
rip
Brave
of
because,
Pokemon.
I love bounding into comics. I love those guys, but they put a half page worth of ads on their site,
Oh yeah.
which is quite annoying.
Yeah, it is.
Quite annoying. All right, here we
Gotta
go.
get that good old
So,
ad
thank you,
blocker. I don't
Brave
use it,
browser.
but
For blocking most of
I
that.
know
So,
there's a
here we
lot
go.
of people that watch Linus Tech Tips
No,
that
I'm not
do.
installing it. Okay. Pokemon just won a
YouTube doesn't
$15
like that.
million copyright lawsuit
Look at that.
in the Shenzhen People's Court for 15
Swear
million
this isn't
damages.
pre-watched. Just watch the last
Now,
video.
This
This
is
proof. Swear.
against the game, right? Against the turn-based Pocket Monster reissue,
Reissue.
right?
Pocket Monster reissue. Bro, fucking shameless, man.
So they won that case. Now, Pocket Monster reissue, this knockoff
PKR, baby, PKR.
that was made about $42 million annually. So
Ooh.
originally,
15
Pokemon Company
15 million
sued them
ain't
for
that bad.
$72 million.
Oh.
However, they only got 15. So they didn't get all their profit.
Mm.
So they got a big win, but they
got a little
didn't get
chunk.
all their profit. But
They're
even
probably not done. The shark's in the water. The body hasn't been, fully taken. There's a bag to be taked.
to win,
Nintendo gonna get
to
it.
win in China is huge, guys.
They gonna send
Because
in
this
Mario.
has never been a thing. So the fact that Nintendo
That is
can
wild.
go out here and win in China
Bro, Nintendo's the final
is
boss.
really impressive. And to be honest, from what I know of their litigation history, they usually win. Not always, but usually.
Also, I want to say this because this guy is a lawyer and I am not a lawyer. My understanding of fair use is that I can react to content being transformable. Goodness gracious, I can't speak. You know what I'm trying to say. So if you have any issues, my boy, legal mindset, and you see this video and you're like, man, I don't wish he wasn't reacting to my video. Let me know. I'll take it down. Easy peasy, easy squeezy.
There have been occasional times where they have taken it out.
Easy.
But like the fact they won in China is, I was surprised. I was like, I mean, that just doesn't happen. You have major American companies that can be like just blown out of court in China.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
Very interesting. But Nintendo is very litigious.
Oh, they
are very litigious.
On their
so
home
here we have
turf.
the Palworld statement regarding
got
the
that dub.
It's from Palworld DN on their official account on X. Okay.
Okay. I was looking for this, bro. What? Hold on. What? Go back. I was looking for this yesterday when I was doing the video because I was trying to look up their Twitter to find what they were talking about. Okay. Let me just hold on, guys. Sorry, I'm gonna go follow them. I want to keep up to date with this whole situation. I'm plugged in at this point, man.
Yesterday, a lawsuit was filed against our company. And we have received notice of the lawsuit and will begin the appropriate legal proceedings and investigations into the claims of patent infringement. At this moment, we are unaware of the specific patents we've been accused of infringing upon. And we have not been notified of such details. So this is true. Now, we are...
How are you getting sued when you don't know what you're getting sued for? That doesn't make any sense. Like, if you're given notice, you should understand, like, what you're What?
All speculating on which one it's going to be. And there's a particular mechanic that we're all speculating on, which was the ball catching mechanic, which is one they indeed have patented. Now, just because that...
Which is bullshit. It's so vague and realistic. Like, dude, when you catch an animal, if I'm out hunting with the dog and say I'm hunting for coyotes, my dog is going to fight against that dog. We're in a battle, right? Like Pokemon. And then I might have a trap. Ooh, I throw a net. Oh, the net's on the coyote. Boom. Guess what happens? I caught the coyote. Or the coyote escaped. And then my dog weakens that coyote. And then I throw another net. And then the net moves. Boom, boom, boom. And then it lights up. And I caught the coyote. Okay, it doesn't necessarily happen that way. But you see where I'm going. This isn't like some super unique idea. It's just an exaggeration of reality. That's all it is. Any simple-minded person that gets creative and is influenced by different fictional things is going to come to some kind of creative conclusion where this is possible. This isn't some unique idea that only you thought of. You stole your designs from freaking Dragon Quest.
That's the one
crying
that
out
we're
loud.
all focusing on the internet.
But I get
doesn't mean that's the only one. In fact, they said it infringed on multiple patents.
Oh,
so
okay.
I assume that there's going to be more than one that Palworld is allegedly in.
Also, what else is? Let me think. Also, the PC. You store your pals in a PC. What else is really? You have like gym styles. You know, you don't get badges necessarily, but you have like bosses. But so many games have like Monster Hunter. Like quality, like games, like come on, like there's literally a game called Monster Hunter. What are we talking about? There's Digimon for crying out loud.
That, right?
Oh my gosh.
Okay? Pocket Pair is a small indie game company based in Tokyo. Our goal as a company has always been to create fun games.
Yep.
We will continue to pursue this goal because we know that our games...
I want to play devil's advocate real quick because I'm so like right now obviously against patents and just game function, for game mechanics. Obviously, I've expressed that at this point, right? But to play devil's advocate, Palworld's Pocket Pair, like when this all became a big thing and Palworld blew up, everyone was talking about this. It was huge. People hated it. People loved it. People were going crazy about the designs, which obviously we've talked about and linked already. They're very similar. And Pokemon has done the same thing, right? But that's copyright from what he's saying. So the game mechanics would are patented. Well, not even that. Pocket Pair. I'm not even going to go over that. Pocket Pair, whatever. Look at their past games. There's a game, I can't remember what it exactly was. It's been a while since I looked into this because this just came back after the lawsuit. It's been months since we've been talking about this situation, but one of their past games was practically just a Breath of the Wild cut and paste.
Enjoyed to millions of gamers around the world.
Is similar too.
Palworld was a surprise success this year, both for gamers and for us. We were blown away by the amazing response to the game and have been working hard to make it better for our fans. We will continue improving Palworld and to strive to create a game that our fans can be proud of. It is truly unfortunate that we will be forced to allocate significant time to matters unrelated to game development due to this lawsuit. However, we will do our utmost for our fans and ensure that indie game developers are not hindered or discouraged from pursuing their creative ideas. We apologize to our fans and supporters for any worry or discomfort the news has caused. As always, thank you for your continued support of Palworld and Pocket. By the way, guys, and I'm going to like this because I haven't liked it yet, but I like it. And shout out to my boy Knight posting down here the Dragon Quest versus Pokemon. Of course,
so
once again, not necessarily relevant.
So close to a 1-to-1, but yeah, he's gonna probably talk about copyright
into this suit, but a cute comparison.
It is.
It's really interesting because Palworld has a shit ton of support in the West and from the West. So,
bro, you know why? Because in the West, we love our guns. We love you. You put guns in Pokemon, hey. Hey, you got a seat at our table, brother. For sure. You want some dinner? Come on over.
The Westerners are behind Palworld.
Yes, sir.
But the funny thing is that within Japan, the general sentiment is on the side of Nintendo.
Oh, 100%.
Right? And there's two parts to that. One of it is national sentiment, just because, when you think of Japan, you think of Nintendo, right? So it's like, if you're Japanese, it's about as tied in as, Honda or Yamaha or any other big Japanese corporation.
Yeah.
They do love their big Japanese corporations.
Oh, yeah.
They're part of Japanese society. They very much love them and have their...
It's like Ford against Nissan. Actually, not even that, because a lot of Americans are... I wouldn't even compare that to trucks. Let's not even go there.
Identity tied to them, much like Samsung in Korea, right? Very, very similar. So that's one of the reasons. The other reason is just supporting the general support for like creators bringing lawsuits, like, and just backing up and presuming the person that sues is in the right, because generally they are, right? So that there's part of it there. But
actually, you know what? This is a great comparison I just thought of. So in America, it's not Nintendo and Pocket Pair. It's more like you got the NFL and you got the AFL, or AFL is old. You got the XFL. You got these little leagues. A lot of people go support the little guy, but at the end of the day, we like our NFL.
It's very interesting, that dynamic. That, don't read into that whether one is right or one is wrong. It's a very interesting dynamic from a support basis. Let's get into this. So where is Grum's wrong? How am I going to yell at old Mark? Let's yell at Mark. So Mark over here, Mark Kern on Grums over here on Twitter, said, Palworld exploded on the scene in February. Patent about Pokeballs filed in May. Patent granted in August. Pokemon sues Palworld the following month. Folks, this is Nintendo using lawfare to try and kill an indie studio that embarrassed them by creating a better Pokemon-style game than they did, and I don't 100% support it. After all these years, they only filed a patent this year. So focusing once again on the fact that the patent was filed in 2024, right? And over here you see it as well, right? Filed later. Okay, so here's why this is not as big of an issue as you think. And this is actually on an article which I haven't seen quoted anywhere. But it's a great article, and it's citing a Japanese lawyer, Kiyoshi Kurihara. So he's a Japanese guy. He's a patent attorney, and he is breaking into this analysis. So let's read this analysis by Kiyoshi and why, in particular, it is such a
Oh, is that Leafeon right there? Oh, wait, never mind. That's a pal. Never mind.
To have filed.
Like
so he starts by saying, as you know, this is his opinion, right? Once again, as a Japanese lawyer, there have been opinions about Palworld's monsters being similar to Pokemon in form. However, this is not enough to ascertain copyright infringement. They come close, but they're narrowly avoiding it. So in his opinion, as a Japanese lawyer, he is saying that in his opinion, as a Japanese lawyer,
that's crazy.
Under the Japanese system, at least whatever rules they're playing by, that's not going to be enough to be copyright infringement. Okay.
It's interesting because the art style, the designs is like the smoking gun. It's just so easy to see. Like anybody would be like, yeah, that's pretty similar, man. Like, come on.
Okay. So that's why they went through patents. So what are the patents? So aside from the monster designs, Palworld's game system does not seem very similar to Pokemon. And it seems to be an open world game similar to Ark, right?
Yeah, it has
Similar
its similarities.
to Ark. So
for
the
sure.
people who mention Ark, the chads in the chat who mention Ark, there you go.
Yep.
There you go. It's more of an Ark than it is a Pokemon.
It's a combination of a lot of games, and this is why I like Palworld so much, because in my humble opinion, the best kind of game is the game that has the best kind of features from every other game. Like, why would you reinvent the wheel? Why not get the best wheels available, put it on your truck? Like, come on now. Like, that just makes sense. Like, I want to have the best this and the best of that. You know, you just get the best of everything. If you want to assemble a team for, say, football, you get the best quarterback, you get the best running back, you get the best receiver, you get the best tight end, you get the best lineman, you get the best DB, you get the best of everything, right? So same thing with the game. You get the best UI, you rip that. You get the best art style, you rip that. You get the best. Like, this is just common sense. Like, and you see this a lot with like Souls-like games and stuff like this. And now that I'm like learning more about this, I'm wondering, it's like, did they want to make the best game possible, but they just couldn't because they were limited to what was actually, creatable? Like, I'm just wondering about what games were limited because of game patents in general, because I'm just so curious, man. Because simple game mechanics and patents could change the trajectory of a simple game. Like, you could have a game, for instance, let's think of a game that flopped, of like gameplay or something. Let's think of a recent game. Maybe like Starfield. Like, that game flopped for sure. Like, that was supposed to be the next best thing. Like, it was supposed to be better than Skyrim, and to be honest, I played like 25 minutes on it on Game Pass on Xbox Series X, and I got really bored, and I just felt like it just didn't feel right. Was it limited by patents?
There's a common point. It is the mechanic whereby you throw a ball-like object at monsters to capture them. If there is any patent infringement to speak of, I think it would be this. So in his opinion, that mechanic is the one right there. Right? So, since the lawsuit against Pocket Pair was filed jointly by Nintendo and the Pokemon Company, Kurihara assumes the patents in question have to be jointly registered by both companies. This narrows down the possibility to 28 patents. Further, there are 4 divisional patents that Nintendo and the Pokemon Company registered after Palworld's launch. We're going to get into what a divisional patent is.
I don't even know what that means.
Context, a divisional patent is a type of patent application that contains isolated content from a parent patent that has already been registered previously. It is usually
It's a broad idea that's broken up into smaller ideas, and you're specifying certain little things. So, for instance, the ball catching mechanic could be a patent, and then you break down that patent into, okay, so when the ball hits the monster and it catches, and it has 3 shakes, and then it's caught. Or maybe it doesn't have 3 shakes, and there's only 2, and then it comes out of the ball. You know, something more detailed, I'd assume. But I thought in general, game patents were supposed to be pretty detailed already, right? They're not supposed to be very broad things. So, like in the last video, I was wondering, could someone have patent battle royales, for instance, or soul-like games, or Halo-style games, or because you have these trends of games coming out that are so good that it creates clones, like Doom clones, Halo killers, soul-likes, like. So I don't know. I'm learning a lot about this. So
used to split up a patent that describes multiple technologies. Let's take a pause here and let's go over to
multiple
a graphic, because I love graphics, and I found this nice graphic provided by the Europeans, showing you that Europeans can occasionally do things correctly. This is by the European Innovation Council. But as you can see here, this explains what a divisional patent is. So a divisional patent is a strategy, right? Whereby you take a parent patent, so an original patent, and you split it. Now, why would you do that? Well, there's several reasons. The first,
So my guess, Division A would be the ball shaking, 3 shakes, and then this would be the catch percentage or something like that. I don't know.
is that technically every patent is supposed to be for one invention. Okay, so if there is something that is potentially for multiple inventions, you want to break that out into further subdivisions. Now, what they did was they took their existing patent, which existed before Palworld was ever developed.
So you invent the light bulb, but at the same time, you invent the wiring structure for the light bulb, the actual work. So, and maybe a couple other things when you're inventing the light bulb. So just because you patent the light bulb, there's actually other byproducts that you need to patent as well.
So they took their original patent and they split it into a bunch of divisional patents. They split it. Now, here's the other thing.
Okay, so this my brain is working, I think, even though I freaking split my head open, literally. Look at the staples. A couple days ago. Dude. So I just lost my train of thought. So the patent, you could break the patent into so many little things, minuscule little things. Like in the last video, they talked about, what was it? The way, like, when you see in Pokemon, you see like the Pokemon, if there's like a shadow behind a tree or like in the grass, like how it's moving, something so minuscule like that. You break it into these like little minuscule things because maybe the main patent they already had wouldn't work to, you know, Palworld was gonna be able to cut the corner. Like they adjusted their game because they were already aware of these patents going ahead, and they're like, you know what, we can do this, we can give it a twist, we can do something different, even though it's gonna be similar, it's gonna be our unique thing. But then when they break that patent down smaller, now that unique thing actually has the whole entire little sub what's it called, a divisional patent in it, right? Are you following me? This actually makes a lot more sense, because it's, if you throw a pie at someone, well, the pie might not all hit them, but if you cut the pie into slices and then you throw the pie at them, one of those slices might completely hit them, not the whole pie, but just one of the slices.
About a divisional patent, when you do this, the new patents,
I could be completely wrong.
Yes, they're issued as of the date, but they're enforceable on the date of the parent patent. So when you file and receive a divisional
that makes so
patent,
much more sense.
Let's say this one was filed in 2020 and this one comes out in 2024. You can enforce this as if it existed in 2020.
What a loophole.
So if you filed a patent in 1990,
oh my god,
and you divide it in 2024, you can go back and enforce it as of that date.
Bro, they reset the fucking canon, bro. Oh my god. Bro, if you're a Star Wars fan, bro, oh, you're probably pissed. They just updated the Wikipedia, or whatever it's called, the Wikipedia,
as of that prior date.
Oh,
and that's why
they reset the lore.
That's why the date issue is irrelevant.
Freaking
and all the
retcon that
people
shit
on the internet talking about the date issue aren't understanding this concept. And frankly, I didn't even get this concept.
Bro, it's a fucking patent recon or retcon. Oh my god.
Right?
That's crazy.
And it's used, by the way, as a litigation strategy.
Oh yeah.
Here's why.
It's so sleazy.
Because imagine you have a lawsuit and you have your one parent patent and it has multiple concepts in it. Well, first of all, they can get that patent invalidated because it's not supposed to have multiple concepts.
Okay, this is so entertaining to me. It really is. But this does not belong in the gaming industry, bro. Bro, gaming, this shit should be for technology, man. It should not be for game mechanics. It just, I don't know. Someone could argue with me, and I wouldn't really know how to express myself. Like, it just comes down to that. It just doesn't feel right. It really doesn't.
Only be one. But beyond that,
it shouldn't be in the gaming industry.
If you have
man.
multiple divisional patents, multiple baby patents, then you can sue on each of them, and they have to defeat all of them.
Oh my God.
So you might fail on 3, but succeed on 1.
It's going back to my pie scenario.
And even if the opposition manages to overturn one of your patents, they probably won't overturn the rest.
Yep.
Maybe they win on 1 and they overturn you on 1, but your patent is upheld on the rest.
Yep.
See what I mean here, guys?
Yep.
So they're not going to lose their ability to sue not just you, but sue other people. So let's pay attention here. Let's pretend this is Pokemon, right?
Okay.
And divisional patent A is the ball throwing.
Okay.
Right? So they're suing Palworld for ball throwing. But there's also the riding mechanic, you know, like riding on Pokemon. That's a separate one. And they don't want to sue Palworld over that. They want to sue a different company. So they use this patent B to sue a different company. Yeah, that's divisional patents. Now, honestly, when I learned more about this, I'm like,
I'm hoping he pulled that out of his ass and monster riding isn't actually patented, bro. The amount of games that have mounts, there's no way. There's no way.
That's kind of shitty that the timeline gets to go back like that. Now, I understand why. It's because, well, it's kind of saying, all right, you had a broad patent. Maybe you didn't know what it was at first, but
that go against the whole reason for patents. It's not supposed to be broad, from my understanding.
Now you've refined it a lot. So let's let you show that you've updated your patent. I kind of get the idea, but it's being used as a litigation tool, as a way to fight people.
A tool, yeah, it's a weapon,
right? It's really fucked up, but that's the law. And frankly, you know, it sucks, but my job here is to tell you what the law is, whether I like it or not.
Yeah.
Right? And that's
100%.
Just the law. It's not that I love this. It's not like I enjoy this being a mechanic, right? Kind of seems kind of broken.
And at the end of the day, like, a lot of people, I remember growing up in school, man. My school was majority, it's probably 30% white people, you know. So we had a lot of crazy stuff going on back then. And there's a lot of people that were it was a very mixed space, right? My school. And there was, you know, people. I got along with everybody, right? I got along with everybody, every different clique, every different race, whatever it might be. There's people that didn't like me. It wasn't really because they were in a certain group or whatever. It was just because we just didn't vibe with each other. I was a tall guy. I was always tall since middle school. I got hate because I was tall in elementary school too. People that were shorter than me did not like me because I was tall. Just a lot of the people that didn't like me in high school were actually short. But I noticed like there was like different people that they were very squeaky clean, and they're very nice people, and they're very hateful to people that would break rules, that would break laws. And I just didn't understand it because there were so many rules, especially when you're a high schooler. You have all these rules, and so many of them, they just don't make sense to you. They really don't. They're like, what's the point of this, right? What does this help? Like, what does this prevent? And whatever it might be. And there's other people that are like, see your logic. They're like, fuck that shit, man. Fuck that rule. And it's just, rules and laws are written by humans. They really are. And they're there for protection and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, sometimes crooked shit happens because humans are crooked, right? So, yeah.
As a legal procedure to go back and
not
say,
saying
no,
to
we're
break
going to use
laws
that
or anything like that.
Parent patent,
just saying there's
and we're going to make it
laws,
enforceable
old
as
laws
of the date of the parent patent, regardless of when it's issued. That's kind of fucked. That's the law.
Until it's changed.
Right?
Until it's changed.
To hear what he says about this. Once again, I want to hear this.
But this is in Japan, so there is no way, Jose, I'm protesting shit in Japan. So much shit in America that needs to be changed already.
What the Japanese lawyer says about this. The most recent application made by Nintendo and the Pokemon Company is patent number 7545191.
What was it? Pokedex? The Poke ID? What is this?
According to Kurihara, the companies requested for the review.
God damn. You telling me they got probably over 8 million patents in Japan?
To be accelerated. And the patent was approved on August 22nd. This special sped up examination process, which is interesting. We haven't heard about this from any other outlet.
Oh, they got that flash
they
pass.
Were rushing in order to sue, was used to approve 3 other patents as well.
Bro, they got flash passes
based on these circumstances. Oh, sorry. As the parent patent was registered in December of 2021, these are legally effective against Palworld, which launched in January this year, because the date of the parent patent is December 2021.
The dates don't match up, bro. They really don't. You would think that they would have a patent on throwing Pokeballs already. So there's got to be something else. Because the parent patent was from 2021. You would think it would be like from 1997, 98, 99. Like, I wonder what it is. So maybe open world mechanic?
For anything after December 2021. Based on these circumstances, the attorney speculates that Nintendo and the Pokemon Company filed these 4 divisional tactics as a common technique of amending an existing patent for use in litigation against specific allegedly infringing property. It's a litigation tactic. The previously mentioned patent is in essence the mechanic of catching Pokemon. It describes in simplified terms the following process: aiming a capture item, a Pokeball, at a character placed on a field, Pokemon, releasing the capture item in the direction determined by the player input.
Okay, so this is definitely open world because they didn't have like a field back in the day, you know? It was a turn-based system. It was an open world system. It's still a turn-based system.
Judgment of whether the capturing is successful or not upon contact between the capture item and the Pokemon, changing of the Pokemon status to owned by the player when capturing is successful. In addition, the patent also covers the mechanic of having the capture probability displayed to the player, regardless of whether it uses colors, graphics, or numbers. So it shows right here, here's the ball, right? See, it shows the little ball. Here's a graphic, the ball. Here's the thing. It looks like they used a pterodactyl here, which is kind of funny. They used a pterodactyl, right? So that's what they described it as. This is in the patent filing, this image. Okay. So
I wonder if it's a cube is an issue. Wait, it said object. That's so stupid, bro.
Yeah. Kurihara calls this the killer patent, commenting, "It seems like it would be hard to avoid if you want to make a Pokemon-like game and easy to infringe if you're not careful." The expert does not go into detail about the rest of the 3 remaining divisional patents. However, a rough look at the description suggests the former are related to riding on top of a Pokemon and the latter tie in the specifics of catching Pokemon.
Oh my god. Fucking Latias, bro.
So literally riding Pokemon, catching Pokemon. Very, very, very interesting here. So the opinion of them is,
bro, you can't even ride a freaking, bro, you can't ride an animal no more. No more. Hey, bro, got a rude awakening for all you MMO fans. Your mounts, well, all those games are gonna be sued by Nintendo.
Is that they're in trouble?
They own
specifically
the game mechanic of riding animals now
because of that divisional patent.
You like horseback riding in your video games? I'm sorry, son. GTA 6 won't have that capability. You have to ride your cars now. No more animals for you.
Crazy.
I don't know where that voice came from. That was a little weird. Let's not talk about it.
And yeah, so that's what I got for that one.
Yeah.
That's what I got for that one. So I know a lot of people are not going to like that. I know a lot of people are going to watch this and be like, wow, this is some bullshit. And you know what? That's fine if you feel like it's bullshit.
Honestly, who likes this? Who likes this? Really, I'm actually wondering, like, if you like this, if you're happy that if you don't work for Nintendo, if you don't work for Game Freak, and you like this, please comment down below. I'm curious. I'm 100% curious. If you want to have a chat with me, we can have a Zoom call. We can have a discussion, have a little podcast. This topic is very, very interesting to me. I think topics like this need to be talked about more often. The more the conversation flows, the bigger it gets. And it's just these conversations need to happen because This is threatening the game industry 100% because it's going to create a precedent that, hey, we're winning? Bro, we went to China, their home turf, and came back with the bag. Dude. What's going to happen in the future? What's going to happen in a year? 2 years? 3 years? What indie game is going to go off? And you're like, oh my god, it's a godsend. We have the next Halo. We have the next Sonic. We have the next whatever it might be. And then boom, it's gone.
But we can't go out and say, oh yeah, Palworld's going to win no matter what. No. Like, Palworld's got a real case. It's got a fight here. And look, I'm rooting for...
You hear an owl somewhere? Bro, who in their right mind thinks Palworld's going to win? I hope they win. I root for the underdog for sure, especially in this circumstance. Like, dude, I'm rooting for you, Palworld. I'm rooting for you, Pocket Pair, but like, I think y'all are going to lose. I'm going to be frank. Like, your game looks like they're saying that the copyright wouldn't go through. This guy, the Japanese lawyer he was referred to. Okay, maybe that wouldn't go through. But the mechanics, and they're in Japan. It's not like some like US company, bro. They're in Japan. Nintendo is Japan culture. Like
Palworld, but I understand.
Like the dream of any like average like American like that's 20 years old or whatever. Dude, if you go to Japan, what do you want to do? You want to fucking Mario Kart race in the fucking streets of Japan. That's like one of the things that everyone wants to do. Tokyo drift in that bitch. Fucking throw a red shell at somebody. Like, dude,
the odds are not
come on,
good.
man.
Like, I understand
Oh
this
my
is
God.
like rooting for the underdog. This is rooting for the long shot. This is rooting for the horse that's 20.
Bro, Palworld wins. This is a bigger story than Rudy. Like, bro, this is crazy. Like, oh my God. There's no, bro. I just don't think there's any way they can win.
20-1. Or 40-1.
I'm sorry.
Right? They can win. Sometimes the long shot horse, the dark horse wins, right?
I really hope
Sometimes.
they do.
But they're
need
definitely
to,
the
like they
underdog
need
in this
to.
battle. That's the law. Now, I know a lot of people have said, what if I just wanted to go out there and just file a patent for whatever? Well, all you people on the internet who say, okay, I'm
for whatever. Bro, you know how much
I'm
that
just
shit
going to go out
costs?
here tomorrow, and me as a
Oh,
rando
boy.
on the internet, I'm going to file a bunch of patents. Well, here's the problem. You've got to be the one who created the invention, right? And also it's got to be new and novel, right? So here's some requirements, particularly this is US requirements, but like for patentability, right? It's a little bit of education for you guys here. Once again, educating and entertaining on this channel. To receive a patent, invention must be new and novel. So you can't just, take somebody.
A new novel? I'm writing a novel right now.
His old existing
I need to go get a
idea
patent.
and file for it. It's not going to work.
What does it say? Cannot have previous been known publicly, obviously. It has to be a new idea. Cannot have been a subject patent issued elsewhere. Yeah, so interesting. I wonder how long this process takes and how much it costs. Because I honestly do have a bunch of ideas that are actually like quote unquote inventions in my head, like, but that I haven't seen anywhere else. But I don't have the money for that shit. Like, I ain't got the time for that shit. I can't go just make a prototype. Like, I barely get time to do this. Like, I do this before I go to bed, edit it, wake up sleepy. That's my routine. So I hope you're enjoying the video. If you're enjoying the video, make sure you like and throw a comment down below, especially if you're still watching, man. I really appreciate it. And I'm just so into this topic right now. But if you have any other ideas you want me to talk about anything, and I'm not just gonna do reaction videos on this channel, right? This is the Ether. The reason it's called the Ether is because it's everything good to me. I want to throw everything good and bad. I just want to throw everything at this channel. And yeah, man. So welcome to the Ether, by the way. Again. But yeah,
Cannot
I
have
ain't
been
got time
previously known publicly.
for all that.
Cannot have been used, sold, or offered for sale in the U.S. at least 1 year prior. It cannot have been.
Okay, so you had to offer to sale. So for me, this wouldn't work because I don't have time to even make a prototype, right?
Subject to a patent
It's just
issued
theoretical in
elsewhere
my
more
head.
than 1 year prior to filing in the U.S. Meaning there can't be one abroad as well. So that's a lot, right? So you've got to make sure.
And this is U.S. laws. I wonder what the China laws are for patents, man. Because he said they were farming patents up over there. So are they making patents for iPhones, but it's a knockoff iPhone? Like, come on, what are they doing over there in China? I'm curious.
Sure, you're actually coming up with something new, and not just like copy pasting.
Yep. Bro, this video went hard. I did not expect to be so into this video. This video went awesome.
So I found this nice graphic.
This guy's awesome. Speaks very well. He lined it out clearly for me, a freaking village idiot. You know, the Neanderthal of the internet, the layman, if you will, to understand this situation a lot more clearly. So yeah, definitely get a like. Only 2.3K. That's a crime itself. He's a lawyer. By gone it, he should have more than that. Go give this guy a like, especially if you're watching this video. I'm definitely gonna follow him. I'm curious what other content he's made before. But before I do that, let's actually look at the comments real quick.
So obvious.
So let's see. Capturing a supernatural creature inside a device. Ghostbusters did it first, dude. 100% they did. 100%. But Ghostbusters didn't throw a ball at it, unfortunately. Not to my recollection. Just to show how disgustingly generic these patents are. The capture mechanic technically covers fishing. It's true. It does, brother. It does. Really hope Nintendo loses this case. 100%. A kindergarten can see this is BS. I agree. To put it simply, Mario is the copyright. Jumping mechanic is the patent. Oh, man. Oh, man. Dude, this was a great video, man. I really enjoyed it. I hope you did too. We're gonna probably keep this conversation going. I'll be covering this topic a little bit more and more. But I am gonna be branching out to other topics as well. Now that I'm getting the channel rolling again, getting the grease on the brakes. You know, they're squeaking a lot from being stagnant. It's really great to be back and healing from the head injury. I have something in the works. Something interesting that will probably come out in probably a month or so. I had to delay it because, you know, medical bills are expensive. They're very expensive, and I was hoping to have it out by the end of the month, but it is not going to be out soon. But definitely subscribe to stay tuned for that. Man, it's gonna be a good year, boys. I'll see y'all in the next one. Oh, my Twitch and my Twitter are gonna be linked down below. Feel free to go follow those. Just if you're wondering, do I stream? Not often. I don't. So I'm gonna try to get these YouTube videos rolling more often. And when I have free time on the weekends, I do stream. But I have had so many weddings. I was supposed to go to a wedding actually this last weekend as well, but kind of cracked my head, split it open, blood gushing everywhere. So I was busy, you know, holding the blood in my head. So yeah, that's what the you know rundown is. But yeah, I'm Trey Swish. This is the Ether. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.